So over the years, we've developed the Fast Freddy brand, and we've sold a lot of Fast Freddy 4 hose winders. Now, over the time, we've developed the electric version, and here we have the Fast Freddy 4E, which is similar to the Fast Freddy 4 hand winder version, but this one's powered by an electric motor, a worm gear, and it's got a variable speed drive. It also has some other differences as well to make it easier to use. So first off, this is an electric powered hose winder. Now, as far as the input power, this is just a regular 110 volt 15 amp circuit. You can plug in any wall outlet. And here we have a variable speed drive. So on this drive, we have an emergency stop. That way you can shut the operation down if something goes wrong or it's unsafe. We have an on-off button, a start-stop, a forward and reverse option. So if you need to reverse away from the guide roller, you can. And also a variable speed, which brings it right down to a crawl or speeds it up. And so after that power comes through the variable drive, it's driving a 0.5 horsepower motor along with a 60-to-1 worm gear. So RPM in this here will go anywhere from 0 all the way up to 30 RPM on the high side of things. And of course, we have the optional wheel kit here. So even with the electric version, if you want to run it around the shop, you could get this option and simply, turn the machine on its side, roll up the extension, the power cord, and you can roll it around, wherever you need to go to bring it to its next spot. Now, as far as the foot pedal goes, the foot pedal is an air-powered foot pedal. It comes with a steel guard so you can't accidentally step on that foot pedal. And we're using an air-powered foot pedal, so the actuation switch for all the electricity is up in this box here. That way, if the machine is wet or you're washing it down and there's a cut in the cord or something like that, there's no risk for electrocution. So these air-powered cords are very popular amongst wash-down style machinery. So this is allowed to get wet, and it's totally safe doing so. And as far as the guide arm goes, the guide arm is identical to what you see on a Fast Freddy 4 hand winder option. So you're still able to move it up and down to select the height you require. And as far as the function goes, you have the ratchet to squish the hose, and you have the fair lead rollers to move back and forth depending on what you're coiling to give you that flexibility. So this has not changed, and it works very well. And as far as the reel plate goes, the diameter is exactly the same as the Fast Freddy 4 hand winder option. The stem pin is also the same, but the big difference comes in the D10 arms. Now, on the Fast Freddy 4 hand winder option, when you click down the D10 arms, they come out and they stay in a static position. So the diameter of what you're coiling can only be one dimension. On the Fast Freddy E, we've come up with a new design that is magnetic, and it has these channels, so you can select what diameter you want, anything from the smallest diameter to something like that, to where, let's say you want to do maybe some heavier duty rope or maybe some copper cable that can't be wound as tight. You could take these D10 arms, putting them in the furthest position, and you can do a much larger diameter now of whatever you're looking to coil. You can still put the tabs on the end of the D10 arm too if you wish to do so, but this here gives you a lot more flexibility for different types of hose, cord, or wire, whatever you're working with. So yeah, let's go ahead. We'll coil up some hose and you can see how this thing works. All right, so here we have a length of 12 gauge extension cord, pretty standard stuff. First thing I'll do is just put it through my guide roller, let it hold. I'm going to put my D10 arms in a medium position. I don't want the coil on my extension cord too tight, otherwise it's hard to work with. So I'll just put these D10 arms in about the middle slot selection on the Fast Freddy reel plate here. When I got that done, I can simply take it through, unlock that a bit, just put it through the slot in my stem pin, and from there I can move my fair lead roller over and I can go ahead and start winding this. Now the nice thing of this is I have two free hands. So let's say you're bringing it back from a rental, or you want to do some sort of inspection process, you have two hands free. Or let's say, for instance, the extension cord is really muddy and you want to wash it, you could easily have a wash mitt on or something like that, and you could be washing this extension cord as you're coiling it up. So yeah, it works really good, and we can inspect it for any cuts, nicks, or damage as we're coiling it up. And this here is at 30 RPM, so this is the fastest the Fast Freddy will rotate. And the nice thing is when you come to the end, you let your foot off of that pedal, it stops within about 1/8 of the rotation, so it stops very quickly. And if you want to, you can just simply bump it in the last little bit, open up the guide roller, take a detent arm, pull it in, and from there you have your freshly wound extension cord ready to get hung on the wall, and it's nicely being inspected or washed, and it's ready for the next rental or the next use. All right, and here we have some 1/2 inch rope, just some regular nylon rope, nothing special, a fairly long length. So for this here, I might want a smaller diameter. I can go ahead and put these in the smallest diameter setting. The other thing I could do too is just use 2 of them. If I want a much smaller diameter, again, is just use 2 detent arms. You don't need to use 4. So it really, depends, what you want for your option. Again, I can use that stem pin to hold it. And in this case, I'm going to leave this fairlead roller a little more open. And same sort of thing. From here, I can just start coiling it up. And again, let's say if it's some sort of like climbing rope, or maybe it's something used for critical use, you can inspect it again. You never know what you might find. All right, when I come to the end, simply stop it, open my guide rollers up, and just like the Fast Freddy 4 hand winder, we still have our zip tie pod, so you can take a zip tie, put it through the open slot in the reel plate, and it can be zip tied. From there, release one of your detent arms, and you have your coil of rope ready to go. All right, here we got a chunk of 3-inch lay flat. Now this will do up to 4-inch lay flat, and Fast Freddys are pretty popular amongst lay flat hose. These things are a real pain in the neck if you're bent over rolling these things up all day. So first thing again is go through your guide roller. It can be opened up further. From here, you can go ahead, and I just typically use 1 of these. From here, it can be rolled through, around, close our guide roller. And the nice thing here is that you can set this so that it's going to squeeze all the water out of this hose, so you get a nice compact coil. And from there, we can just simply start it nice and slowly. And again, if the hose is dirty, you could have a wash mitt on, or you could be inspecting it as you go. And then again, when you get close to the end, slowly bring it in. From there, you can open your guide roller, pull it out, grab your detent arm, pull it, and from here, you can take your lay flat off, and it's ready to get put on the stack. All right, so that's the Fast Freddy 4E. It's not much different from the older Fast Freddy 4 hand crank version, and we've just given it some updates to make it easier. And if you're doing a lot of hose on a daily basis, and you want a couple of free hands to inspect the hose or the cord or cable as it's going in, or you want to wash it with a hand glove or with a wash mitt or something like that, you can easily do that. And if you're doing it all day or for the whole morning and you're cranking away, this here is as simple as putting your foot on that pedal and away it goes. So you have lots of control, forward, reverse, variable speed if you want to go faster or slower. And we haven't made it too fast where it's dangerous, and you have the ability to hit the E-stop if anything gets out of control. So if you have any more questions concerning capacity or speed or price, give us a call at Splitfire at 519-468-3647, or see more at fastfreddywinder.com.